Draft Dawgs, a fictional fantasy football league world that's just as crazy as our real world's been in 2020. The drama and crazy going-ons of a league based off real fantasy football players. Now, participation in fantasy sports has been on a steady rise in the past decade, particularly brought about the desire by people to get into the heart of the game by tapping into the competitive aura surrounding their selected sports. This is especially so in football as fans choose to experience the game not only by watching it live or from home, but also immersing themselves into fantasy football where they practically live and breathe the sport right from the drafting stage and on to the playoffs. This is as real as it can get, while always keeping in touch with their favorite team's schedules, scores, and getting further insights on the players live, both on and off the field. Now, after months of barely any in-person football action due to the coronavirus pandemic, the sporting world is slowly getting back into action. It is a fact most NFL football players have missed watching their favorite team in person, and that most fantasy football fans sought solace in fantasy football in 2020 more than previous seasons. It's here that the unique Draft Dawgs adventure begins with the 2020 pandemic-induced fantasy football season. Now, one of the biggest issues facing fantasy football players is that soon there will be nothing football related going on from the end of the NFL draft on Saturday, May 1st, 2021 until the Hall of Fame game on August 5th, 2021. So, what will those hardcore fantasy football players do on those empty Sunday afternoons in between? Well, they can use those Sundays to watch Draft Dawgs, a fictional fantasy football league world. Draft Dawgs is a fictional account about the crazy going-ons of the fictional fantasy football league. This adult cartoon takes you through the ups and downs of a world that's very much like our own, one where life gets in the way of the characters' love of football, from responsibilities to societal dictates. Now, despite it all, an odd circle of friends always finds a way to indulge their love for fantasy football by creating time, often at the expense of other important things like family, work, school, amongst others. Although they never will fully admit it, at least out loud, the band of misfits who come from different walks of life do enjoy their mates during the draft parties. It's actually a chance for them to connect one-on-one with people who don't really depend on them. You know, the passion, the excitement, the secret indulges, it's all part of the game. Draft Dawgs is fantastic and special because it's so genuine. You know, all of those characters in the league, they're based on real fantasy football players. And that means that every episode you watch, you'll definitely find a character that reminds you of someone in the league. So that could be the lucky dude or the idiot savant, or could be in between. The people in your league that you love to hate, your fantasy football dogs through thick and thin, they're all identifiable in Draft Dawgs with surprising twists and turns to always keep you wondering, what's next? The Draft Dawgs solution, well, each Sunday from the end of that NFL draft until the first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, it's never had much for hardcore fantasy football players to do until now. You can look forward to a new episode of Draft Dawgs every week. This is a great comedy that gives us more artistic liberty and gives you entertainment that will keep you glued to your screen, yearning for more. You know, don't be bored this football off season. Don't be moping around with nothing to do on Sundays. Schedule your Sundays to be watching episodes of Draft Dawgs. Sign up now at a small fee to guarantee the season gets produced. Let us jump on and check out that Kickstarter pilot, and you can see what you can expect from Draft Dawgs.
Draft Dawgs, living in a fantasy where less players are who we be. Draft Dawgs, better stay in your lane, get points, make trades, just watch the game. We get down and dirty like hogs. I know you wanna join in, tag along. See, we the kings, make all the calls. Yeah, kind of like legends, yeah, the Draft Dawgs.
Hey, Dr. Dino the addict. What? Now we He's 5 years clean of that habit. Like a football, he kicked it. Real slick shit. Might take out a tongue depressor and lick it. Chuck is the genius in this fantasy. If you try to rob a store, he might fucking flee. He don't want trouble to be up on the scene. Might have to call Sarge NYPD. Or maybe Todd the street hustler. Smooth like custard, buddy. Spreads his picks too thin like mustard. Don't be a buster. Might need a lawyer. The team right here got one in Jimmy Warner. Potts builds his team brick by brick. A few points here like a field goal kick. Speaking of kicked, Zanga running from White B. A stay-at-home dad, he better play nicely. Commie Joe, we call him pro. Dreams of living in Cuba with his commie folk. The Draft Dawgs, we act hard, we laugh hard. Fantasy draft stars. The badass in charge, well that's Scatty. He's the commission, this bitch drives the league like a caddy. And who's a baddie? Well, that's Bubbles. Strip pole cuddles, leaving men in puddles. When it's draft time, we hustle on the double. No matter the trouble, we coordinate in the huddle. Draft dogs, don't slap these dogs. They're busy so they might scratch back with claws. 200 points in a week, dropping jaws. But Sarge makes sure they don't break no laws. Time to pause for the brothers, Mike and Nemo, real fish lovers. They got big rods, so they think they're gods. They see the playoffs in the future, but it's just a mirage. We here to make deals, trade picks like Pogs. The Draft Dogs stumbling down the halls, drinking beers and bars in the bathroom calls, having a ball with the squad. Cheers to all.
Draft Dawgs, living in a fantasy with less players are who we be. Draft Dawgs, better stay in your lane, get points, make trades, just watch the game. We get down and dirty like hogs. I know you wanna join in, tag along. See, we the kings, make all the calls. Yeah, kind of like legends, yeah, the Draft Dawgs.
The first character introduced is Dr. Dennis Dino, the recovering drug addict who loves playing fantasy football even if it means risking a relapse. This season, in one episode, Dr. Dino runs the laboratory responsible for NFL COVID-19 testing. Watch as the craziness ensues.
My name is Dr. Dine, and I am an addict. I have been clean for 5 years, and I am sorry for my phone. It is on silence now. You're not answering your phone. We drafting tonight. I'm working, you moron.
The second character to be introduced is Sarge, a poor cop trying to deal with the crazy riots of 2020 while still playing fantasy football. The league has a running side bet that the team with the most drafted, arrested players wins $100. Watch one episode while Sarge starts locking up players to win the bet.
The fuck you doing here anyway? You're gonna get sick, arrested, probably both. I am league commissioner. I am obligated to confirm that you are coming to the draft. You'll get auto-drafted.
The third character to be introduced is Scatty the Commissioner. Now, the guy seems to have nothing else going on in his life but running with this league. Just wait for the episode where he gives the virtual eulogy for a guy he kicked out of the league for not taking it seriously.
Are you a special kind of stupid? The entire NYC is under quarantine. No gatherings. You can't draft if you wanted to. Don't worry about that. Got the lawyer and all worked out. He said something about constitutional right to gather. Can't legally stop us from drafting. Put your mask on. Listen, I don't know what time... Oh, shit. Move out of the way.
9 p.m. If you're not there, you're gonna get autographed.
Chucky.
The fourth and fifth characters to be introduced are the brothers Mike and Nemo, two offshore fishermen who have very spotty Wi-Fi and are unable to set up their lineups. Watch as Nemo tries desperately to get engaged to his girlfriend, and the league sabotages it at every step.
Come on, what can I give you for the first round pick? I'm reigning champ. I need to hold the title. Come on, Chuck. Let me get the first round pick. No, I ain't giving up the first round pick.
The sixth character to be introduced is Chuck, the league's fantasy football savant who takes fantasy football way too seriously. Watch Chuck through the season as it's learned that some people in high up places depend on Chuck's fantasy football advice. And just remember, CMC is Christian McCaffrey.
No matter how many times you guys ask, intimidate, or even try to bribe, do this again and I'm reporting you to the commissioner. At least tell us who you're gonna pick. It has to be CMC, right? Just tell us who you're taking first, so we can plan accordingly. Fuck it! You'll know tonight. Now either help me board up these fucking windows from these goddamn protesters, rioters, wherever the fuck they are, or get the hell out of my way.
The 7th and 8th characters to be introduced are Mike Zanga, the stay-at-home dad, and Potts, the construction guy. Watch the season unfold as the stay-at-home dad makes connections with the wives of the league members, doing more work to not work than he would actually ever have to do. Oh, and Potts ends up doing some work at Adam Gaze's house. You know, what could go wrong?
Hey Mike, look, I can fix your bulkhead. I'll even do it on a cheap family and friends discount. It's gonna cost you a pretty penny though.
Potts, thanks for coming to look at this. We need to get this thing fixed. Every time it rains, it floods my laundry room. And you know, a man can't live with a broken laundry room.
I guess I kinda know what you're talking about. Hey, look, listen, you going to the draft tonight? Are you gonna draft remotely?
Dude, don't even bring up the option to remote draft. My wife may have us on a nanny cam right now, and if she even suspects I can remote draft, she's not gonna let me go out tonight to draft. I've been cooped up with these rugrats better part of 4 months. If I don't draft tonight, I might actually die.
No, I didn't! Bring Peter my cereal again!
Joe, I've known you your whole life.
The 9th and 10th characters to be introduced are Kami Joe the Professor and Todd the Street Hustler. Kami Joe falls in love with a stripper and it turns his Marcus world upside down, while Todd gets arrested for selling all natural COVID-19 cures. Question is, will he be able to set up his lineup in time?
I'm just taking these online classes to get the degree. To get a raise at work? Come on, you really gonna make me do all the work? Just give me a C, I'm not even asking for an A.
Todd, in class, I am professor. You can't call me by my name. I take teaching and grading very seriously. If I was to willy-nilly give out undeserved grades to people, well, that would be complete chaos. No, that will not happen. You must come to class and do the work.
Joe, okay, I wouldn't want you to do anything that feels questions the integrity of your job. You going to the draft tonight?
I am going tonight. I am very excited. This remote teaching is getting the better of me. I need to see some people. I will wear a mask and properly social distance. What draft spot do you have?
I got spot 2. What about you?
12th spot again.
Want to trade my 2 spot for an A in your class?
How dare you even try something like that? I would never do that. Good day, Todd.
The 11th character to be introduced is Jimmy Warner, the attorney whose family obligations are always standing in the way of fantasy football. Will Jimmy stick with his family or eventually abandon them for fantasy football?
Mrs. Warner, your mother's operation went well. Now all we have to do is sit and pray. We should know something in the next couple of hours.
Thank you, Doctor. What should we do next?
It is important that family is close by. If she wakes up and sees familiar faces, it would be real aid in her recovery. I would suggest you all spend the night, waiting for the best chances of survival.
Thank you, Doctor. We would do exactly as you advise.
Guys, my friend Dennis works here in this hospital. Let me go find him and see if I could get some inside information.
What? Where are you going? My mother needs you the most right now.
I'm going to speak to him for your mom's benefit. The best mother-in-law in the world. I want the best for her. Trust me.
How long are you going to be?
I won't be long at all. Plus, your brother and the kids, they're all here too. I'll be right back. I'll grab some food. Dennis, come on, man. Call my wife.
tell her you're reviewing her mother's records, and soon you'll have some more time you'll come visit her.
I want your second round pick. Without that pick, I'm not doing anything.
I am the 11th spot this season. Already a bust. Come on, cut me some slack.
Use autodraft. Maybe your wife divorced you. Find out the scam you're pulling on her. But I'm not speaking to anyone unless you give me your second round draft pick.
Fuck you, man.
What do you mean you're not coming? I saved you a spot. You're gonna fuck everything up. I don't care if you think you were exposed to COVID-19. This is a fucking one-time draft. Just wear a mask. The hospital can't keep you in solitary ICU. Fuck you, Tori. Your white privilege card not helping you here. You're out of the league, dipshit. We given Sarge 10 more minutes. Then we started without him. By the way, Tori said he'd rather spend the time alone there with any of you fucks. So I dropped him from the league.
So you're dancing to pay your way through school, huh? Sexy girl like you couldn't find yourself a man to do that for?
I like to be independent. No man gonna control me. You don't look like the type that plays fantasy football.
I am the type that plays a lot of fantasy. You ever play professor and student? That is one of my favorites.
If you have the money, we can do whatever you want after the draft. What spot you have in the draft?
I have 12 spot, second year in a row.
Oh, that's a shame, because whoever me and Mercedes thinks drafted the best this year is gonna get a nice lap dance from us. We think Saquon is the best RB in the draft, by the way.
Oh, really? Let me head to the bar. You want anything? Hey, Todd, we need to talk.
I am ready. I'm gonna surprise everyone at the one spot this year.
Really? How so? How are you preparing for the draft during COVID? No preseason.
It's an old family formula. My dad handed down to me during the 1987 strike. It's a very similar scenario.
Oh, really? What is it? Give me a hint.
Only because you a straight shooter, Bob. I'm going QB early. I suggest you do the same. A lot of injuries to the RBs without preseason.
Not a bad concept. I will take that intro in consideration. Who you thinking? Not CMC?
No CMC. I'm either going Lamar or Mahomes. I'm having some last-minute rituals to complete for the proper guidance.
Well, good luck with that, you fantasy freak. Which stripper you gonna bang after the draft?
Stripper? Where? Can't be messing with them girls. I need to prepare. We starting soon.
Cheers to the chat!
Michael, I don't care that you're my cousin. You guys need to get moving. The mayor and the governor are killing my business with their ridiculous rules. Bad enough you guys are inside, but now you might be here all night.
Cousin, don't worry. We're getting started soon. I owe you. Thank you for doing this.
Commish, if they ain't here, we gotta start.
Want a drink?
I made it. I still need to process this dirtbag. Let's get the draft started.
You can't do this to me. I have rights.
You're lucky your rights don't meet my knee on your scrawny white neck. You throw a punch at a cop, you're gonna learn how much your rights really protect you.
Thank you all for coming to the 2020 Make American Fantasy Football Great Again. I am happy to announce that COVID will not stop the NFL from going forward, or our fantasy league. Unfortunately, Tori is in solitude in ICU with COVID. No excuse, if you ask me, he has no symptoms. I told him to get a mask, so we dropped him, but now we have an 11-person league.
My league fell apart because of COVID-19. I miss fantasy football and would love to play with you.
Fine with me. Your league fee will be taken from your stripper fee. Any objections?
I object. We need to redraw the draft spots. She just joins and gets a better spot than me and Camel Toe Joe. Besides, we have enough cunt in this league already. We got Dr. Dennett.
No, Jimmy. This is how we always do replacements. No one else objected. Sit down. Now on to the next order of business. Anyone trading spots?
Todd and I traded. I'm now going to the number 2 spot. And Todd will draft for the 12th spot.
Thank you, Professor Comrade. Always a pleasure doing business with those who believe in capitalism.
Without further ado, let this begin. Grab the CMC for Chuck.
Oh, don't you dare pick or touch my card. I have had a sign from the football gods. My selection is Patrick Mahomes.
Do what the man says, but then grab the CMC and then pick for Commie Toe Joe. He is not that dumb.
Well, actually, after some depth research with an algorithm I put together, I am talking Saquon Barkley.
Give me CMC. You hear that, protester? I'm playing fantasy football with people as dumb as you.
Sorry so late. You get lost in a building this big.
Lost? Why? How could you lie at a time like this?
Dr. Ditton to Christina, your mother is doing well. She will be fine. Oh, and by the way, send this picture to Jimmy. It is the best one I had of him in front of the final draft board.
I really hope you enjoyed this sneak preview of Draft Dawgs. If the project gets funded, you'll get a new episode every Sunday, starting at the end of the NFL draft all the way through to the Hall of Fame game. So let's make the minimum donations so this project can be brought to life. Everyone who makes the minimum donations will get mentioned in the credits and see each episode before it's released to the public. How great is that? There are some fantastic epic rewards as well if you really believe in this project, including special spots in the show for our highest tier donors, that highest tier being a limited coveted spot to be in the Draft Dog League for 2021 season. Yes, you can make the highest tier contribution. You could be a draft dog, and rumor has it I might be the girl at the 2021 turning over the draft dog cards in something a little more revealing than this. Even if you can't contribute, guys, but you like the project, make sure you sign up here and visit draftdawgs.com. Join the email list, get updates. Thanks for taking the time to listen and watch.
Draft Dawgs, living in a fantasy where last players are who we be. Draft Dawgs, better stay in your lane, get points, make trades, just watch the game. We get down and dirty like hogs. I know you wanna join in, tag along. See, we the kings, make all the calls. Yeah, kind of like legends, yeah, the Draft Dawgs.
Hey, Dr. Dino the addict. Now he's 5 years clean of that habit. Like a football, he kicked it. Real slick shit. Might take out a tongue depressor and lick it. Chuck is the genius in this fantasy. If you try to rob a store, he might fucking flee. He don't want trouble to be up on the scene. Might have to call Sarge NYPD. Or maybe Todd the street hustler. Smooth like custard, buddy. Spreads his picks too thin like mustard. Don't be a buster. Might need a lawyer. The team right here got one and Jimmy Warner.